Hey guys, so today we're going to do a video on solving trig equations using the double angle formulas. And so here we just got two examples we're going to work through. Both of them are going to be solved on the interval from 0 to 2 pi. And first thing I see here is that we've got this cosine 2x, and that's the harder of the two double angles because cosine 2x equals three different identities. And the first one is, let's just write them out here. We got sine squared of x, so I should start with cosine squared of x. Cosine squared of x minus our sine squared of x, and it also equals 2 cosine squared of x minus 1, or it equals 1 minus 2 sine squared of x. So we've got three choices, and the most important part of this problem is honestly deciding which one to choose in terms of time. So here I see the goal is always to only have one like sine, cosine, one type left. So right now we want to get everything in terms of sine. This one we would still have a cosine left, so we don't want that. This one we'd still have cosine. This one, everything is in terms of sine, and then we can go on to factor. So that's the one I'm going to choose here. I'm going to get 1 minus 2 sine squared of x minus sine x plus 2. It's all equal to 0. I'm going to combine my like terms. I'll get negative 2 sine squared of x minus sine x plus 3 is still equal to 0. And now is when I usually like to switch. Instead of saying sine x, I'm going to make that equal to x. So I'm going to get negative 2 x squared minus x plus 3 equals 0. Just helps me solve it. And now I'm going to factor. The way I factor, I multiply there, and I'm going to get x squared minus x minus 6 equals 0, x minus 3, x plus 2. I'm going to divide back by my negative 2, so I'm going to get negative 2x minus 3, and then x minus 1. And then now I can plug back in my sine x, so I'll get negative 2 sine x minus 3 equals 0. And I'll get sine x minus 1 equals 0. Okay, so now we just have to do our normal factoring, like setting equals 0, so add 3 to both sides. We'll get negative 2 sine x equals 3. We'll divide by negative 2. Sine x equals negative 3 over 2. And here we're going to get sine x equals 1. Immediately I notice here, negative 3 over 2, well that's not even in the range of sine, because as we know, range of sine is from negative 1 to 1. Anything out of that range, it cannot never equal that, so this offers no solution. So NS for that. And then this factor, we're on the interval from 0 to 2 pi, so when does sine equal 1? Well, it's going to be at pi over 2. So the answer to this problem is x equals pi over 2. Alright, and now we've got a similar one here, except now we're using the sine identity, so this one's a lot easier because there's only one thing it can equal, so instantly we can say, okay, it's going to be 2 sine x cosine x minus cosine x equals 0. And now what you have to do here is you have to see that both the terms, we've got one term here and we've got one term here, and as it stands right now we can't solve it because we've still got two trig identities in this equation, so we can't do anything. So what we have to do is we have to factor something out, and the only thing they have in common is they both have a cosine. So let's factor out a cosine of x and see what we're left with. Cosine of x, we're going to multiply by this 2 sine x to get the first term, and just subtract it by 1. And now we've actually factored everything out that we need to. Now we can just set both of these equal to 0. So we'll get cosine x equals 0. Then we'll get 2 sine x minus 1 is equal to 0. And then we just solve when does cosine equals 0 on the interval from 0 to 2 pi. Well, it's going to be pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. And that just comes from knowing your unit circle. And then now let's solve for this one. We've got 2 sine x is going to equal 1. Sine x equals 1/2. When does sine equal 1/2? Well, we know we're going to be working in the first two quadrants, and it's going to be the first angle in each one, so it's going to be pi over 6, and it'll be, I should say, the last one in the next one, 5 pi over 6. So our answers to this problem are pi over 2, x equals pi over 2, 3 pi over 2, pi over 6, and 5 pi over 6. Hope this video was able to help. Let me know if you have any questions. Using the double angles will help you a lot, and just be careful with cosine x. Just choosing the right one to start with can save you a lot of time. So, thanks for watching, guys.